This is a tutorial on how I pose my action figures. Here I got the Marvel Select Star-Lord, and then the Bandai. I got this at a GameStop, the White Ranger. Getting started, I'll show you guys the 3 kinds of wiring that I use. This is how I pack it. I walk around with this awesome little pencil holder full of assorted wiring. I have all my wire in here, my 2 sets of pliers. Roll it up into a burrito. It's a pencil holder. So I open this thing up. Okay, the wires aside. And I have 3 kinds of wires in here. I have soldering wire, that's these ones. I have this other thing that's like fencing wire or garden wire. Again, it's soldering wire and gardening wire, or also fencing wire. And the other one that I use, all of you have access to this stuff. This is the stuff that comes in packaging, like action figure packaging. This is what holds them in their boxes. So let me show you how I use these 3 wires now. I'm gonna start off with Star-Lord. I had him up in there getting kneed in the face. So the way I pose that, I take my wire, and I'll show you guys what I did. This wire is actually so malleable, so soft. It's like the softest stuff in the world. Here. Super soft. Like crazy soft, right? But as soft as it is, it's also strong enough to support the weight of these action figures, which I love. So here's what I did. I did this bend here. You give myself like a L, and then I put it down, and I just bend it. And I always do this. I give myself this partial triangle shape at the bottom. And for the Star-Lord one, or really any action figure that has a cape or a coat, I do this U shape. Basically, I take the tip and I bend it in, okay? And I bend it in so that when I put it in his coat, up his back, that he doesn't swivel around on me. If you don't do this, you know, if you have him on a straight like this, he tends to want to spin around, and I hate that. So I put it in there with the U shape in his back, and voila, he doesn't move. That is how I pose this. Again, that U shape is in his back. And this is such a terrible rough draft, but I'm just showing you guys the process. Now the White Ranger, again, the base, you got that partial triangle, right? Here's what I do with all these things. If you can see this, the point there is sharp. It's like flat. You just take your pliers and smash the tip of one side in, and you start to make a flat edge for yourself. The edges are too thick to fit between joints in these action figures. So when I take this and I take a minute or 2 to flatten it out, now with that nice flat edge there, I can get that to fit almost anywhere on this guy. And I posed him like this, like kneeing, and he's such a good figure. He poses so well. And this, I think I had just stuck here. It's just, I just shoved it right there between his joint, between his butt crack and his, well, not the crack, but between his butt and his hip joint. I just stick it in there, and he pretty much poses himself like someone said, man, you do it, you make it look so easy. But I do this so much. I listen to sermons, or I listen to Vsauce on YouTube or something interesting, and while I'm listening to something interesting, I pose action figures. I got him kneeing Star-Lord. I used the packaging wiring, the action figure packaging wiring. So what I did with that, I put his knee up to his face, I held it there, and I take this stuff, wrap it around like that, and then just so that it can be as close as possible, and then I just spin this around. get it really tight so that his knee isn't, there's no gap between his knee and his chin. And then I hide it back here. I hide it. And that's pretty much what I did there. You gotta be patient. And I like to try and hide part of the wire as much as I can with the legs. Ronald Bruner Jr., a drummer that I really like he says, nothing's hard. Everything just takes a little bit of time. But nothing is hard. So anyways, I'm actually gonna flip this around and put it in here. Oh yeah, that will way better. To balance that out. And in a nutshell, that's what I did to pose that. It's sloppy right now. Obviously, I'm just showing you guys my process. That's it for those two kinds of wires. The other kind of wire that I use, this is called gardening wire or animal fencing wire. You can get this at any hardware store. But again, it's pliable enough, malleable enough that you can bend it with your, you can bend this stuff really easily with just your fingers. So this is to get action figures to stand on one foot, posing on one foot fairly easily. Say that I want them like this, maybe they're hitting them or something and you want them on one foot. What you do is you take this wire and you wrap it around the ankle. Now, I mean, I'm a big fan of, use your stuff. I mean, you might chip a little of the paint off. You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to decide yourself if it's if it's worth it. My action figures have scuffs in them. I mean, I use them. I'm not like the collector. I don't just keep them in their boxes. That's just not me. I like using them a lot. So anyways, so this stuff is nice because it works its way around the foot so well. So you can see this shape I have here. And it just makes it really easy to pose these things on one foot. Super easy. So you can see that there. And it's pretty well balanced. You can move him around. He's not going anywhere. The wire is thin enough that it's really easy to edit out once you have it in your editing mode. So that's it for this. That's the three kinds of wires that I use. Soldering wire, gardening wire, fencing wire. You can get at any hardware store, Ace, Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware store. And last, but definitely not least, action figure packaging wire. This is the little thin stuff that holds your action figures in place when you buy them new. So that's how I pose them, guys. I hope this was useful to you. Keep it real. Peace.